Okay, it's time to talk about Shenmue 3's combat. Okay, let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way. The combat was better in Shenmue 1 and 2, without a doubt. There are more throws, there are more actual reversals. You could actually jump, you could run, so you had run attacks. That was better. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Other than that, combat in Shenmue 3 is actually good, even without the throws, which is kind of crazy. But here's the thing, he has a lot of canned combos. I mean, he doesn't have throws per se, but he has these canned combos that are like, predetermined combos that are all like flashy, and they basically break the opponent's guard. Being that there's so many strikes involved, the opponent's going to stop guarding at some point and get hit by at least the tail end of the combo most of the time. Okay, so there's that factor. What's better about the combat in Shenmue 3? Ragdoll physics. So the characters react better when they get hit and when they get slammed into walls. Now there's wall damage, so it's wall splat. So it opens up the opportunity to wall combo somebody. So you have it against the wall, you can like wall damage them. If you use a mid attack that's low enough to hit the guy while he's slumped against the wall. Okay, so since we're already talking about that, the best attacks for that type of situation, when a opponent's like wall splatted, like twin blades, definitely. Oblique slam, katana miss slash, mud spider, surprisingly, and mud spider is also good for wall splatting somebody in the first place. And also shinbone smash. Those are the best ones right off the gate. There's some I need to experiment with, like Mountain Crusher, because he does a lot of punches and he does some mid kicks, some double hopping kicks. So those might work. That might work. Also, the breakout is good for hitting somebody to get them wall splat, and while they are wall splat, it's good for hitting somebody. The elbows hit kind of high, so they kind of miss. I would love to hit somebody with freaking big wheel when they're wall splatted, but it doesn't hit because big wheel, while it's a good attack, it hits too high. There's a downward punch, so that one would work. Also, Lotus Cutter. Lotus Cutter is a spinning wheel kick. It's like a spinning heel kick, but it's lateral and it's kind of mid hitting. Okay, it's like a hop kick, so that would work also. So there's a lot of options to really just drive the damage in when you get something against the wall. It's a fun game, and it's still fun as it is even without the throws. I can imagine how better it will be when the throws are in it, because if he's implementing wall damage of the attacks, that means there's going to be wall variations to the throws. There's going to be wall throws that splat somebody against the wall or slam them against the wall. When you do a special throw that normally would just throw somebody straight to the ground or to the side or whatever, in a certain situation, you would like slam them into the wall and use the wall for extra damage, or pin him against the wall and do extra damage while he's pinned. That's how Virtua Fighter 3 used to play when Virtua Fighter 3 implemented wall throws. So that's a situation that you see coming up when inevitably throws come back in Shenmue 4. You could tell he wanted throws in the game. He even mentioned it. He's maker of Virtua Fighter, but the reality is he wanted as many attacks, new attacks, put in the game as possible, and while still keeping in the old ones, as many of the old ones as he could. So that situation, you're keeping that many animation, that many individual moves, plus the plethora of moves that are in this game. I beat the game twice, and I'm halfway through beating it the third time, and there's still at least 6 moves I haven't bought. Some you pass on, but there's some that are good. In particular, Burrowing Full Moon and Searing Flame. I played through a save and just a save I had in Naiwu. That's not quite it's like during my second playthrough, I guess, and I had a lot of money in that point, so I just spent all the money on the moves to check them out, to preview them. And burrowing full moon is a good move. It's kind of like a tumbling kick. He does a bunch of punches, then some tumbling, like tumbling kick. So he flips towards somebody, that tumbling motion. He does kick, so it's cool. It's kind of acrobatic move. That's good for crowd control. And Searing Flame is kind of like a drum punch move. You ever see like Ip Man doing his thing when he's knocking somebody out and he's just clocking him with multiple punches really fast? It's like that. He just kind of drum punches, and then there's a hit, an elbow hit. Another good move is a stinging elbow, because it spins. So stinging elbow, he kind of spins, and it's kind of a sabaki. And a sabaki is a move that kind of like spins around an attack, so it basically kind of deflects an in-linear attack and then hits somebody. So it's a spinning motion that spins you out of the path of a straight attack and allows you to hit somebody. Okay? So basically like bypasses the linear attack and hit somebody, and that's how stinging elbow is. And it's a good opener, because when you spin past somebody's straight punch, whatever, and then do the elbow, it stuns them for a second, which can open you up for combos. Which leads me to chapter 3, combos. There's a few combos in this game, okay, because there's a lot of moves that cause a lot of hit stun, then opens them up for another move. So the difference between this game and Yakuza is just like there's maybe 3 variations of strings, okay, and that's it. Mix of heavy and light attacks. There's only so many mixes of heavy and light attacks you can do in Yakuza, and that's it. And then everything else relies on the weapons or heat moves, which are all shitty because they're all like situational. They're not reliable. You can't use them all the time, and also the situation depending on your position, and also the situations depending on whether you have a heat gauge or not. So it's kind of annoying. And they're just one button presses anyway. This is more involved because every move is a command move, albeit there you require button presses. But see, Yu Suzuki had a method with his madness. So say if it's a vertical move, you would press X then triangle, which means you're vertically swinging up, or you're swinging down, it'd be triangle then X. So it's several variations like that. Now the combo moves, they're kind of logical. Okay, so some moves that do a lot of damage, like in particular Demolishing Fist, you notice when it hits, it does a lot of damage. So you lead with Demolishing Fist, and then do Big Wheel, the extra stun. And if it's a small enemy, right, you can do Demolishing Fist, then Big Wheel, and then the sweep, and they'll hit by all 3. If it's a boss, like that boss, this Red Snake boss, they kind of have a revenge mode. When they take X amount of damage, they immediately counterattack. So, if you try to do Demolishing Fist and Big Wheel, then the sweep, he'll hit you. After you hit him with Demolishing Fist and Big Wheel, he gets like enraged and just hits you. He'll just counter hit immediately. He doesn't stay open like, say, the small enemies, like the monks in the temple. They'll get hit. Or the regular Red Snake thugs, they'll get hit by all 3 hits. And also cool thing is environmental damage. Like my favorite fight in the game is when you're in New Paradise and there's a lot of china locked up on the glass shelves, and you can just throw the enemy into it and knock them into it and break all the glass. So that's cool. There's several other combos. Some I'm still learning now. The easiest combo in the game is a back fist followed up by Mud Spider. So you did hit a sandstorm, Mud Spider follow that up. Lovely. Because not only that, they're stunned by the back fist, but Mud Spider strikes low and it goes high. So even if they did try to punch back, which they don't because they're stunned, you go under it and hit them. So in any situation where, say, in a sandstorm or like back fist twist, if they got blocked, you can still get the Mud Spider off because it starts low, so it's duck under attack and hits up. But when the back fist hits, Mud Spider all the way. Yeah, there's several good ones I learned. Like, say, Shinbone Smash. Everybody knows that's like a move that's overused because it's so damaging and it hits people when they're on the ground. There's You can use Shinbone Smash and basically anything because it causes a huge lot of stun. But my favorite is Shinbone Smash and the Breakout. Breakout is square, triangle, triangle. So you Shinbone Smash to stun them and Breakout, and it's not going to knock them flying. Breakout knocks me up so fast, so far back that you can't really follow it up with anything because they're stunned after the Breakout, and not to mention stun they got from Shinbone Smash, but they're so far away you can't close the distance before they recovers. Another one, good one is say the Elbow Assault followed up by Cannon Blow. So Elbow Assault gets you in close, and Cannon Blow does an upward strike and it knocks them flying. That's a good one too. And I also had another one, an alternate for that is the knee. It is square, square, and then Cannon Blow, just L2 circle square, and that knocks 20 flying back. So that's a good combo. So there's several, and I'm working on another one. Okay, I wanted to do Katana Miss Slash because it does a lot of stun, and then follow it up with say Oblique Slam or Twin Blades. But the thing is, being that Katana Mist Slash is like 2 hits, it does so much damage. They kind of get knocked back before you can really do any more damage to them. They get kind of knocked a little bit out of range of the Oblique Slam. So it would be better to do Oblique Slam first, which is 1 hit, and then follow it up with Katana Mist Slash or Twin Blades. So it's a fun little game. It's fun to get some stun on people and just knock them flying. And I love the hit reaction when they get hit, and also the sound effect. So it was a fun game. The graphics are good, especially when you're playing in 4K on an OLED TV. It looks especially good. In that fight in New Paradise in particular, because there's a lot of colored lighting there, and the graphics really pop. There's also the fact that you can do adjust frame evade. So if you evade just when the opponent's attacking, it puts the game in bullet time, which means you can get a huge hit on somebody. You can even do a string. It's not really a string, but a canned combo like say Searing Flame or say Grievous Strike. That's a canned combo. That's several punches and followed up by a big kick. Now, I tend to just do the elbow because it does a heavy damage and it drives in, so you can't possibly miss. Or the breakout when I do a just frame evade, and you see me doing that on the bosses several times. So yeah, I mean, there's nuances to the game. There's no reversals per se, but say if an opponent does a shoulder ram on you, some of them just charge you and shoulder charge you. If you block it at a certain time, you'll parry it out of the way, so you get behind their back. Me, I always try to set up wall damage I just back up my way to the wall to lure them to it. I stay there and block until they come at me and they start attacking. Then I evade, so I flank them, and now they're switched positions, and I got their backs to the wall, and I'm gonna get in front of them and then just knock them flying to the wall and start off the wall damage. And that's good for the bosses too, because see, the bosses, the guys like Yan Lang and the Red Snake's boss, they're too big to get wall splatted. They can't get wall splatted, but they kind of get stuck against a wall. They don't have any room to maneuver. Because normally when they get hit, they're gonna backdash. But you have them on their back to the wall. They can't backdash after they hit, so they kind of don't know what to do. So you can just tee off on them. Also, there's several really good canned attack moves. Like Grievous Strike is one of the best ones. It probably is the best one. And it's Chained Pit Slash. Chained Pit Smash is also good. It's several punches and it's double downward chops. Thunder Strike. I think I'm probably messing that name up. I think it's called Thunder Palm, but it's several punches and it ends up a palm strike. And that's good. And also, obviously, I already mentioned Burrowing Full Moon and Searing Flame. Those are very good. And there's also one that's called rending palm, which you just kind of double palm motion, kind of fireball motion at the end. And if that end point hits, that end attack hits, it does like a large amount of damage and it knocks somebody flying. It can even knock them right out the ring. So that's cool. So yeah, those canned moves are good, and they're kind of a substitute for throws. They're not throws per se. They don't break guard, but they do so many attacks that is bound to hit somebody that's guarding. They're gonna stop guarding eventually and think you're done, and they're gonna try to counter the one hit that got blocked, and they're gonna get hit by the rest of it. Okay, so it's a good game. It's a decent game, and also, man, we've been waiting this long for Shenmue. You're not gonna really, mince words about it or just kind of, be choosy. It's really glad we're getting a Shenmue after like 17 freaking years. And you ask yourself, would you rather have no Shenmue 3 at all or have a Shenmue 3 without throws? Well, the fact of the matter is they fixed the fencing engines. They revamped the combat altogether. So I think it's setting a good platform for them to add throws in Shenmue 4. And even Shenmue 3's combat is pretty fun as it is. Especially when, you catch one of those gang members that are real loudmouths. There's several members in each team that's kind of a real loudmouth. You just can't wait to beat the shit out of them. You're gonna get them against a wall and start wall damaging them or comboing them. It's kind of satisfying. It's even fun to fight the guys in the Rose Garden. Rose Garden is probably the best version of combat because besides the two bosses have their own unique attacks. Okay, so they're unique fighting styles. A lot of the characters in Rose Garden are made to pattern like kind of riffs off of Street Fighter characters in a way. Because one looks like Guile, one looks like Chun-Li, one obviously is Muay Thai, so it's like Sagat. Okay, so it's cool like that. Anyway, besides having those icons, those kind of genotypes. They all have unique attacks. For the most part, a lot of them have unique attacks. So they fight one way or another. One like relies on big heavy punches or uppercuts, heavy strikes, and then there's obviously the Muay Thai guy. There's the Taekwondo guy, several Kung Fu guys. Obviously, it's China, and also there's one guy. He kind of looks like he's fighting karate because he does a lot of lunging reverse punches. So he's good. So they're very distinctive. The way they fight is very distinctive. So it's very cool. So anyway, overall, I like the combat in the game. Does it have as many pit fighting fights as Shenmue 2? No way. But they kind of focused it, and they had a budget, and then make the areas as serviceable as possible and get as much of the game they needed in variable, mini games in the game as possible in all the areas. So they'd rather have one really focused arena to fight in than like several ones with just only one guy on the stage. That would get boring. And then there's a matter of going up that one guy and paying to fight that one guy all the time, then traveling to fight another guy. Like, come on, you're going all over the map to fight one person on each different stage. In Shenmue 2, it's better to have all of them in one stage and just fight them. For traveling concern and travel time. But yeah, it's still. It's not knocking Shenmue 2. That's a classic. It's probably the best of the series. But I'm here's hoping that Shenmue 4 will trump Shenmue 3 to the degree that Shenmue 2 did to 1. Overall, I'd probably get the combat a B. And obviously, that's a big part of what Shenmue's about is combat. So it'd be hard for them to drop the ball. That's Suzuki's whole drive to even do this. Is he based it on his trip to China when he's researching Virtua Fighter, and the kind of situation he had there, and he kind of like inspired him to make Shenmue. Anyway, it's a good game, and combat's actually fun. I find myself trying to figure out more combos as I play. I have a few ideas. Like following up, say, the Lotus Cutter or something. I just haven't made up one, an actual definitive follow-up for it yet. Anyway. And also, it's fun to fight your way through the first Marshall Hall in Bailu, and also the other temple, Wushin Hall in Naiwu. And the cool thing about new Wushin Hall is a option to fight multiple opponents, so you can train fighting multiple opponents, and they have full energy meters when you're fighting a nightmare. So it's kind of worth practicing because like you get a lot of hits in, and a lot of maximizing damage and maximizing combos for damage output, for taking out multiple opponents. And these guys are fully energy metered, so you get as much practice as you need because even say in nightmare mode, I don't think the main thugs, I don't think their energy meters are full. They're at least maybe 3/4. Okay. The future of this game, I don't know what the future is going to be. I'm hoping that they let Yu Suzuki work on Virtua Fighter 6, and by virtue of that, he just gets access to the move sets of the new characters, and maybe the old ones he hasn't even implemented in Shenmue, like El Blaze and Go and those type characters, because in Shenmue 2, a lot of characters were based on Virtua Fighter characters. And if he gets access to the move set, if he works on Virtua Fighter 6, he can take the move sets from those characters and work them into more characters in Shenmue 4. That's what I'm hoping. The thing is, here's the thing, man. I mean, if you learned all these moves now in Shenmue 3, it's kind of be a hassle if they go back to the old fighting style, the old directional inputs in Shenmue 2. It's not possible because the amount of permutations of directional inputs don't match the amount of permutations there are for button presses. So if they did go back to the directional inputs, there'd be less moves, or you would have to map moves to one command input and then swap them out between moves, and you have a shorter full move list at any one time. A shorter array of moves available at any one time because you had to swap the commands. Alright, so anyway, that's it. I mean, I think that covers pretty much everything. Combat is fun, the game is fun. You can't knock the environment and the immersion, the whole story and the whole game world. It's hard to not like it. I can't believe I went on for 22 minutes, but hey, there you go. I guess that tells how much in depth the combat actually is, even if it doesn't seem that way at first. Anyway, one thing I'd like to say is there's a lot of negativity, exaggerated negativity towards Shenmue 3, and that's one reason is it's a PS4 exclusive. So all those Xbox One X owners who paid $500 for a system with no games have to look at one more game which they don't own, which they can't play on, and they paid $500 for a system, which is basically a big brick. I mean, it's Death Stranding. They had to kind of blow back against Death Stranding. Back in the PS3 days, it was a blowback against Metal Gear Solid 4, and they said it was just all cutscenes, which is total bullshit. It was one of the best games that come out of that whole generation. It's not all cutscenes. So, one other thing I would just say is that people had a lot of complaints about the hit detection in Shenmue 3. It's bullshit. Ryo has a lot of close range moves, okay? They're close range moves. There's elbows, short elbows, hook punches. Those moves don't have a whole lot of range, okay? I mean, I think some people are used to playing games that give them a mulligan, basically. A lot of aim assist. Those shooting games, aim assist like Destiny. You aiming 10 meters away from somebody's head and it's still hitting them in the head. That type of thing. Okay, even in PvP, it's aim assist. There's no aim assist in Shenmue 3. You either hit the character or you don't. Alright? So, some people want oversized hitboxes, maybe. So, when you whiff, they just want, just give it to me. No, asshole, earn it. So, there's a lot of complaints about the hit detection. It's bullshit. Some linear attacks, they're going to miss. It's a linear attack, and it's a 3D game. The characters moving, enemies are moving 3D. You do a linear attack, it tends to miss. What I do a lot when I'm fighting multiple opponents, especially, is a lot of circular attacks. So You're in the crowd. You want to do some crowd control. Do a whole bunch of spinning kicks, crescent kicks, spinning hook kicks, spinning back fists. That's why I was really had my back against the wall, getting my ass kicked in that first fight in New Paradise in Niawu with the red snakes, and there was like four of them. They were kicking my ass. And one thing I started doing was crowd control moves that are circular, okay? Circular moves that have wide arcing moves that hit multiple opponents. So, if you ever see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, it's like triple play, triple play, he goes triple play, and there's a spinning hook kick, hit three guys. That's what you do, and it helps crowd control. And what I did was I kept using spinning back fist, and spinning back fist is a circular move. So it's a wide arc, it hit two of them at a time, and there's a lot of damage, and it tended to turn the tide in the fight. So there's perfect hit detection in Shenmue 3. It works whether you hit the character. Okay, you have to hit the character. There's no mulligans in this game. There's no aim assist. So yeah. So one of the things I should have brought up is this hit detection is good, and it works like it's supposed to work. Linear attacks can tend to miss, and if they're aimed wrong, and circular attacks always hit if the character's in the range of them. Okay, if they're within the range and the reach of it, and it sweeps across their face, it hits them in the face like it's supposed to. It's really simple. It's not hard. That's how physics works. So yeah, that's a good part of the game that people kind of don't give credit where credit is due.